Liverpool versus everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you are. Just wanted to come with some few things that was on my mind. Um, just kind of I guess, review of just the week in general, um, and some new things that have come out. First, just to open it up, um, and definitely it's going to be the last time I even mention anything like this because it's over and done with. There's nothing we can do about it. We got to move on, and I don't want to come across as bitter about this still days after. But days after, news continued to come out, to surface, um, of the conversation that the refs had in the Tottenham Spurs game, all the things that went down. And initially, I think a lot of us were disappointed with both pins, but I think a lot of us were, to a degree, maybe willing to kind of understand um, the second one. There's so many different views, so many different angles of Van Dyke and the connection he does or doesn't make with Lamella. And still to this point, I've seen so many different views, and it's really still hard to say to me, believe it or not, whether he made contact with him or not. Enough contact for sure to go down like he did. It just doesn't seem like he did, especially pulling out. Um, but I think for me personally, you see of the two, that's the one where the ref is, even though Moss does this as if to say, that's universal, as no call, get up, let's keep playing. And for 15 to 20 seconds to go off the clock, and the linesman is involved again. Personally, you see between the two, that's the one that maybe okay. And also at that time thinking, I didn't even know this, but he was clearly offsides for the second one. Now they'll tell you, oh, I think it was Carragher or one of these pundits will say, oh, well, it's so tight to see that was a hard one. They've been calling offsides that whole game perfectly. If you remember, Kane was offsides at least 2 or 3 times from set pieces, and it was the same amount of offsides, if you will. Like it wasn't by a mile, but it was enough to see. This one with Lamella might have been a shorter a distance of over the line, but it's offsides. You've been calling it all game, and all of a sudden, you forget to raise your flag. You've been raising your flag all game. Your right hand was probably sore. You raised it so much, and maybe that's what it was. It was too sore. You couldn't lift it for those last two incidences towards the end of the game, and so the more information comes out, and you see what's happening, and the joke that he would ask. I think he asked Martin Atkinson, the fourth official, or somebody, um, what he had from the TV. There was no VAR in that game. He knows that. He's a seasoned ref. He's been around for a long time. And so now he was misguided. I mean, nobody guided it but yourself, God damn it. I mean, it's clear. You knew what you were doing. Um, listen. The situation seems fishy. We spoke about it already. The linesman pumping his fist after. I mean, and then you watch the Chelsea and Watford game, which shamefully Liverpool fans are bigging up this Dele guy. Oh, I'd take him in a heartbeat. Oh, Watford has more ambition than Liverpool Football Club. This guy wasn't wanted from Everton. He wasn't wanted from Barcelona. He's back in Watford. He spends most of the game trying to do all these flicks and tricks, and a lot of times losing possession, um, missing wide open passes to be square to Dini, shooting balls over the net. He gets one goal from a deflection, and he dives in the game. And all of a sudden, he's some special player. Listen, the diving in this game, it has got to be disciplined, maybe even more severe now. He should be disciplined for that. I hate Chelsea, and I'm glad that they lost the game. But dives like that, just they need to be taken out of the game, man. And if you can't do that, which won't happen because players are gonna dive all over the world, they're gonna dive. But there needs to be some serious retro action discipline for these players that do this. I mean, it's just ridiculous, and it's almost as if these players have watched, you know, Lamella and Mumblemouth, Harry Kane, dive, and they've watched tape of it all before the game. And I should say it's almost like Dele was watched this and thought, right, when I get a moment to go in the box If I see Courtois coming towards me, I'm going to drag my foot over his hand because surely they'll call it. I mean, it's ridiculous and it's sad. What I also want to say though, at this in the same token, is that as much as I feel like we were robbed, to me the game should have never even came to that point. I think Wanyama was a game changer. I mean, he came in and did what we would have hoped Ox and Genie would have done. And I don't just mean with that goal. If you remember, as soon as he come on, he's spraying balls right, spraying balls left. I mean, perfect balls, really, really good. Wanyama was eager to prove and show something. I don't know if he's been hurt recently, but he hasn't been playing in the middle of the park. It's been Dembele and Dyer, I believe. But Wanyama for me is one of the best midfielders, defensive midfielders. I should say midfielders in general in the league. Strong, fit. I mean, you see this guy come on. He's chiseled. He's almost busting through that damn jersey. He's got a physique of a damn superhero, but he's just not fictional. He's for real. And he came in and changed the game. And yeah, of course, that goal was not something that he's going to do 9 times out of 10. I said that. But he did it that 10th time, out of 10, and he got it. And that's what it counts for. So, on that goal, a lot of people have been talking about Karius. I think it's ridiculous. Karius had an immense game. I'm not going to knock him one bit in that game. He was amazing. You save one pen, he's not going to save two. That's almost impossible to ask of him. If he would have done that, he would have gone down in Liverpool folklore forever, no matter what he did after that. He clears the ball on that. Could he get a better punch on it? Maybe. It's always easy to say that in hindsight. I think Emery is very, very lazy and weak on his attempt at the ball. He pretty much assists Wanyama for that goal. And I don't know what's happened with players putting their bodies in front of balls, but it doesn't happen anymore. I'm tired of seeing balls come into the box, fast, slow, whatever, and guys are moving out of the way of the ball instead of throwing that. I mean, listen, I'm not a professional football player, but even in the little league football I've played and football in the community here with other guys around our age, you jump in the way of the ball, and I'm not playing for money. I'm playing just for the love of the game. You jump in front of the ball. You don't let it go. If you're close to the ball, you put something on it other than a hand, obviously, a butt, a thigh, the back shoulder blade, head, something. I mean, you jump in front of the ball. I don't get that. I don't get. It's almost like these players they get paid so much money. And maybe it's like, oh, I don't want to get I don't want to get hit with the ball. I don't want to get hurt. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's so frustrating. I don't want to nitpick the guys, but lastly, I think that's 12 games now from winning positions that we've either drawn or lost games. For the most part, it seems to be draws, but either way, it's points that we're missing on. 12 points, I should say, not 12 games, 12 points for the 2017-2018 season. And it's just, you could maybe, the refs really, really had played a part in this game, but still, it should have never come to that. And I don't think it came to that because of, a lot of people have this idea that Liverpool dropped off in the second half. I've watched the game back a couple times now just to see what y'all were talking about. I don't see that at all. And maybe it's just one thing we have to just respectfully disagree with each other, agree to disagree, whatever. But I don't see that. Sure, maybe our midfield got a little leggy, but Ox and Genie came in and looked leggy, as if they were playing the whole game. There's a moment there where Ox has an opportunity to put Salah through, and it's just a really weak ball. And you're thinking Ox has been so good lately, and he's been rested more or less. Didn't play that much in the last game. Didn't play much in this game. He came on in the second half. So that was really frustrating because we needed, both teams needed something, and Spurs won that battle. Like I said, Wanyama came on and was good, and Lamela gets them the penalty, whether deserved or not. He did that for them. So, that's probably the most frustrating part. But I don't think, we created enough chances in that second half, and it's that final ball that messes us up. That final situation, the final choice that could have been a right choice and wasn't. That let us down. Not that we Tottenham played better than us. I think it's laughable that Pochettino would come out and say that it was 2 points dropped from them and they were the better team. And he's definitely having his day to troll saying something like that because to me Liverpool was the best team. And for everybody who says that Klopp doesn't have a plan B or another way of playing, he definitely showed that. And we were successful for large parts of that game. We sat back a bit, let them have the ball. Listen, we know teams that have a bigger percentage of possession means nothing. Liverpool knows all about that. So I wasn't upset with how we played and letting them have the ball because they didn't do shit with it. Nothing they got, they worked for. Nothing. You know what I mean? So But enough about the refs. That's it's happened. It's over with. There's not really much we can do. Um, so yeah, one thing closing I want to say about Dele Alli, and it's not what you think it is. I rate Dele, and I think he's a really good player. He's been really, really important for them since he's been there. And people will say, without Kane, they can't do much. But I think without Dele Alli as well, both of them together, probably, the if you had to pick the two best, I want to say that 'cause they got a lot of good players, but two of the most important players on their team, if you will, which seems harsh to say because they have a lot of good players. But um, his reputation is going to precede him now. He's doing a lot of diving. He's got to stop doing. He's got to bring that out of his game. A lot of diving. I mean, that wasn't the first time. That was the first of many. That was one of many times that he's been booked for diving. I want to say he even gotten some retro action suspensions or whatever. But he's got to take that out of his game. And the nasty part as well, he'll do things that somehow are not even seen by the refs. I mean, it's really ridiculous. But again, he's an English player, and I think it's that good old boys kind of thing. English look out for them for their own. You know what I mean? But enough about that. Enough about the bitterness and stuff about Tottenham. Adam Lallana, playing under 23s, playing a Tottenham squad, goes up for a challenge that we see all across football and in every world, and all over the world in any league, going up for a challenge football. The young guy goes up, makes space with his elbows, as we do if you play the game. Contacts with his head. Lallana jumps right up and pretty much jumps on the kid's back, and he's grabbing his neck and the back of his head, and a real serious moment of madness. But a moment of madness that needs to be disciplined. We can't. Again, it doesn't amaze me really, but these people that come out and support him after doing this, just saying it's just simply a moment of madness, it happens. And I guess that's what happened with Liverpool players, some of them, particular ones, that aren't playing. If they're not playing, they take their frustration out on people in really disgusting ways. Flanagan with, playing keepy up with his girlfriend's stomach or back or whatever it was he was doing, kicking her. And then Lallana with this just crazy caveman-like reaction to a young man on the pitch. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So there should be some discipline to me. I don't care who it is. Something like that, there needs to be discipline. He's not helping us anyway. And I've said it. I kept saying that people thought I was crazy. Even when he came back, he was never fully ready. And people had the nerve to say he should be starting the games. He was never ready. He was never at full strength. And I think maybe he was rushed back. And I think it might have been a desperation thing. That midfield was getting a little weak, but he was never ready to come back and play for Liverpool Football Club. And I don't think he will be for the rest of the season, to be honest. Maybe the last few games, but he's not ready at this moment if he's playing under 23s. Ings was there too. I believe I heard that he got another injury. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. So in closing, also let me go back to that Chelsea and Watford game. Thanks again, Watford. Even though you got some cheaters on your team as well, the Spurs result doesn't feel that bad now. It did after the game, and parts of it does still because of the circumstances. But Chelsea did us a favor. Watford did us a favor. However you want to look at it, it looks like Conte might get that sack. Bakayoko will be the scapegoat. He's been for most of the season for them. I think it was shameful what the fans were chanting towards him as he was leaving the pitch. I think Bakayoko is a fine player. It takes players some time to get acclimated to the Premier League. I've spoken about that before. I think as a player, I'd take him. So anyway, that helps us a lot. We still got to handle our business. Southampton is, if you look at the rest of these games we got, it's full of bogey teams for us. West Brom again, Southampton, West Ham has a chance to do some crazy shit to us. I don't have the rest of the schedule right now. Those are the teams that I remember though, and of course we still have Chelsea and Man United. So a crazy ending to the season it's gonna be, man. It's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be good. But yeah, we gotta handle our business at Southampton. This is a pretty good week for us. last 2 weeks with certain teams dropping points and you know giving us an alleyway to continue to fight up the table. So we got to take it though. It's no need in celebrating when teams help us out with dropping points or losing points altogether if we can't capitalize on it. So we got to do that. Southampton will be ready, firing, ready to play. They had a good result against West Brom. Lamina looks really good for them. We know the other players they got on their squad. Tadic, who else? Redmond. I mean, they got a lot of guys that can hurt you. So they're fighting for their Premier League lives. And it's Southampton. They've been in the Premier League for a while now. They don't want to go down. Believe that. So they'll be fighting. It's going to be a tough one. So we got to be ready for that. I'm going to close it just by saying Salah. You could say without Salah, you could question where would we be, and arguably you could say we wouldn't be where we are now. My thinking is if it wasn't Salah, it would be somebody else, or if it wasn't Salah, it'd be Mane playing in the position that he really really loves, and it'd be somebody else on the left maybe, and I think we'd still have that same kind of maybe not exactly the same. I mean, Salah is doing some pretty amazing things. Apparently, he's been the quickest to 20 for Liverpool. I mean, he's just amazing, and it's sad that wasn't the story of the Tottenham game. But he's just unbelievable. He's unbelievable. I'm running out of superlatives and ways to describe him, but he's just doing some fantastic things for us, and may continue. I mean, he might get 30, 35 this year, really, in all competitions. So I'm looking forward to more of that. And on Mane. He knows it. We know it. We need him for the rest of the season. We need him. We need him to. I don't want to say find form because I think again, I support Mane and I think he's been really really good for us. Even though his goals have went down a little bit. If you look in the totality of the season, he's doing really good, really good. If you look at all the stats and what he is contributing to this team, he's doing really well. At the end of the day, there are times where you feel like he's one-on-one with guys on that left, and it's just like he won't go at him. Instead he holds play up, and some of his passes aren't the best. But I know Mane's gonna make a turn for the best for us. And yeah, like I said, we're gonna need it. At some point, Salah will run out of gas in one way or another, or not. I don't know. I mean, he's playing out of his mind right now still. So, but you got to plan for that. You got to plan for that. You got to plan for Firmino having games where he might be off, like I think he was off in this last game, honestly. So we need the other four guys to chip in a little bit more often when they can. And again, if that means more assists to Salah or assists to somebody else or getting in the right place, maybe missing a goal here and there, I'm all for that. As long as we're working to get into certain situations, I can't be mad. I'm happy with that. We're not going to score every goal. No player, no team does. So getting in the right positions is one thing. Not getting in them is what we don't want. So as long as we're doing that, I'm happy and that I'm fine with that. But it's Mane. You got to believe he's gonna start to show signs of what we know he can do more frequently, if you will. Trying to steer away from saying he's out of form because I really don't believe that he is. But yeah, so that's it for me today, guys. There's been some things on my mind, and after today, getting more news, seeing more things on Twitter, on YouTube, or whatever, I just wanted to come with that and kind of put to bed the bitterness of what happened to Tottenham because there's nothing we can do about that. We got Martin Atkinson for the Southampton game, so that should be interesting. But yeah, we'll be back later in the week for a pre-match with Southampton. And yeah, I've been thinking about doing a podcast soon. So I'll keep you up to speed on what's going on with that. And let you know the details on that as they come. That seems like the next kind of step I want to take with the channel and developing a podcast. It'll probably be on SoundCloud. Yeah, that'll be coming really, really soon though. So yeah, stay tuned to that and enjoy the rest of your week. Also, go give a look to Great British Beard. I probably got that. This is a shame. Is it Greatest British Beard? I think it's Greatest British Beard. My brother from England, man. Lovely fella. Another one of us in the community. Small YouTube makers, video makers, and he's been really, really supportive of our channel. And just a really good guy all the way around. Look his check out his channel. He's really funny, pleasant dude, excellent gentleman. Just overall, just a good man. And yeah, just want to shout you out, brother, because you've been really supportive of us and always there to leave a nice comment of support. Um, Even on Twitter, I see you, man. So I appreciate that. But anyway, I'm gonna sign off now, and I will see you guys sooner than later. Till then.